Is your worksheet overkill? Oh, that's a great question, and we get to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Hi, Angela. I love your videos and your book. I've made checklists, worksheets for cleaning to start using soon, to email along with our invoice after the service, as I'm going paperless. I've used your free worksheet to base my own on, but I've expanded mine a lot in case I do a walkthrough and the person has multiple kitchens and lounges, etc. Then I can delete the rooms they don't have from the list during the walkthrough. I guess I'm wondering if my own worksheet template is overkill. When you use your worksheet, do you find that there are more rooms in the house that are on the worksheet? Do you just write them in? I've been registered for almost 6 years, and only now am I going to use a checklist worksheet to establish my business as being more professional. I have so many questions. Ellie. All right, hi Ellie. Yes to all of your questions, it is overkill. First of all, you're going to email this along with your invoice. I love the fact that you're going paperless, and in business you have to make choices every day. I'm not a big fan of wasting earth resources and killing trees and using paper, but I'm going to make an exception for the worksheet for this reason. If I get home from my job today, I still have to sit down and send you an invoice, and I have to send you a worksheet, okay? That's a lot of work. Now, if you have House Call Pro, boom, it can do that for you. But you still have to check everything off the list. So my recommendation is that you actually print it out and you take it with you on the job. Put it on a clipboard just like this. This is my worksheet. When I go through the house, I'm going to personally do an inspection of the home before I leave. And I'm going to check off the boxes of the things that I cleaned. All right, now I'm going to leave this at your house. This says, hi, Mrs. Jones, I was at your house today. These are the things that I did. These are the things that I'm guaranteeing on my satisfaction guarantee. So a couple of things. If I send her this in my email, she has to open her email to see it. Then she has to print it out, and then she has to walk around the house and she has to inspect the work that you did. Because if she walks in and something is not clean, but she looks at the checklist and the checklist is right in front of her, it makes it easy for her to say, oh, well, I was super cluttered this week. Angela spent extra time cleaning up the clutter and she didn't actually get to this today at all. I see that. So she's not going to call me for a satisfaction guarantee. She's not going to refuse to pay me because I didn't clean it today because it's not checked off. Does that make sense? So it's my accountability to my customer live. It's in real time. Now, I like the paper version for this reason. A couple of reasons, lots of reasons, but for this reason. When this is on your counter and you arrive home from work, I'm pretending for a second that you're the customer, there is an exchange. This is my checkout process. You left a check on the counter for me. I took the check. I left you a worksheet, okay? I got something in return. This is your receipt. All right, so at the bottom, if I charged your credit card and there was no money that you left, I'm going to say you paid today $220 or whatever the price is with the Visa ending in 4893 or whatever the last 4 digits of your credit card. I'm going to circle it. Thank you for your business, paid in full. Okay? That is their receipt. That is their worksheet. That is their receipt. Boom, we're done. We're done with the transaction. When I go home tonight, I'm doing a whole bunch of other things. I'm not going to be sitting there doing invoices. I'm not going to be sitting there, okay, now did I take out the trash in the dining room? Because I kind of think I did, but I can't remember. See, you don't want to go through that, right? So check it off as you go. At the end of the transaction, you're done. All right, I also like paper for this reason. When this is on Mrs. Jones' countertop, she has to do something with it. Her email, she does not have to open. Nobody forces her to do that. But if there's nothing on the countertop except this, she has to do something with this. These get picked up, they get shuffled, they get moved around the house, they get passed around to neighbors and friends. These go places that you will never go as a marketer, and this is your marketing. So somebody in the neighborhood says, hey, I'm interested in Angela's cleaning. What does she do? Oh, she does this stuff. If she can't get to something, now it's easy enough your customer can explain. And if they're not sure, all of your rules and regulations are on the back page. And I keep this on every single printout just in case they forget. If I have to charge my customer for a late cancellation fee, this is not news. This is not something I covered in the walkthrough and then we never talked about it again. It's on every single worksheet that I leave behind at every single cleaning. I like this for a reason because it's also scalable. So if I hire a new person and I send the new person into the house, I got to send them with a checklist and I got to send them with a clipboard, and they're going to inspect their own work. If there are 2 people in the house, they can swap and they can inspect each other's work, okay? So the secret is this does so many things, and I love to have it right in front of me. Could you do it on an iPad? Yeah, you could. Could you go paperless? Yeah, you could. I recommend paper. I still recommend paper because it is a physical, tangible object that's in your way, it's in your face, it's right there, and there's no forgetting that the house cleaner came. Lots of people, if it's an invisible transaction, they come in the house, they forget that you were there. Then, oh, I'm going to conveniently forget to pay you. So if it's right there in front of you, they're like, oh yeah, she did come. Oh yeah, she did do all those things. Yeah, that was dirty. Yeah, that looks nicer now. And it's a validation of what you've done. It reaffirms in your mind, my house cleaner was consistent and this is what they did. All right, moving on real quick. You said you expanded yours a lot. Don't expand it, okay? Keep it simple. And here's the reason why. There are house cleaners that want to add all these extras on there because they're people pleasers and they want the customers to think that they're getting more bang for their buck. The answer is most people are price shopping. They want their house clean. They don't care about the extras. If they do care about the extras, they're willing to pay more. So when you come in and you have this ginormous overkill of a worksheet, what you're doing is overpromising and you're setting unrealistic expectations you cannot meet. And so when you come in and like 35% of the stuff on your worksheet does not get checked off because you did not have time to clean it today, or it's not a priority to your customers, then what happens is it looks like you did very little while you're there. Then the customer looks at it and they're like, well, you hardly did anything while you're here. What am I paying you all this money for? So follow the basics. These are basics. And it's basic stuff like we sweep and mop the floors and we take out the trash and we dust the light fixtures and the knickknacks and things like that, right? It's basic stuff. If the customer on the initial walkthrough has extra rooms, this has lots of rooms on it. You can cross out a room and say, okay, there's no office in this house, but there's a music room. And you just write music room in there. And then every time you come on that worksheet, you just cross through the office study and you just write music room. So that's always just the music room. But I like this because I'm not going home and I'm not then tailoring it to every customer, because when you get 300, 400, 500 customers and you start expanding and you start having lots of employees, this is still a very simple, basic program that works for every house. Now, yes, some houses will have more rooms, some houses will have less rooms. And if there's no room at all, like this one has 4 bedrooms on it. Let's say that they only have 3 bedrooms. You just cross through one of the bedrooms. Super easy. Now, if they have 2 guest bedrooms and they say these are off limits, I'm going to cross through those 2 bedrooms. I'm going to say guest room 1, guest room 2, off limits, off limits. And I'm going to do that at every cleaning because we agreed to that. Here's what happens. Later, when the customer says, oh, hey, do you mind cleaning the guest room today? Oh, let's see. And you look at your list. I've got that crossed off. So we didn't originally talk about that. Do you want to add that in as a special service? And now you have negotiation power because it's right in front of you. It's on your checklist. You're reminding the customer that originally they signed this and said, this is what we agreed to. I will tell you, this is also my contract. I get lots of questions about, what does your contract look like? It looks like this. This is it. So as we do the walkthrough, I give one of these to my customer. Hey, when I come to clean your house, this is what we normally do. Let's walk through the house. If there's anything here you don't want done, let's make a note of it now. If there's anything extra that you want to add, let's make a note of that now. I have one on my clipboard. We go through the house. At the end, we cross off, we make notes, and I just say, hey, let me just verify this with you real quick. Did I get everything correct? They look at my worksheet. They go, yeah, that's exactly what we talked about. I say, great, if you'll just initial that here, we have a working agreement. Let's get started. And they go, okay, great. And they initial it. That's the contract. That's it right there. And I can take a picture of it. They can have a picture for their copy. I can give them the copy and take the copy of mine on my phone. It doesn't matter. Whoever gets the final copy, it doesn't matter. But each of you should have a picture either on your phone or a hard copy, okay? But then you use this version to base all of your cleanings for the rest of your life with that customer at the price you just quoted. And then if you get there and they have a new worksheet, you say, oh my goodness, wait a second. Did you want to use my worksheet today or did you want to use your worksheet? Because I've priced your job based on my worksheet and what we agreed on. If you have a new worksheet with new things, we need to come up with a new price. And so right then we're negotiating. You do not get to change the rules on me when I come to clean your house. We base the price and the cleaning on a certain set of things that I'm going to do when I come for a certain price. And I've allocated in my schedule a certain amount of time for these things. If you have extra things, you got to call the office because it's on the back page in the rules and regulations, right? And so it says you got to call the office so that I can add it in and change the price. So this solves so many problems, but I love to have it right there in front of the customer at every cleaning. And like I said, they will pass this on to their neighbors and their friends who look at that and they say, wow, they do all of this stuff for this price. So it's going to give them a ballpark. When the customer calls and says, can you do it my house at this price? You say every house is a little bit different because everybody has different numbers of people that live in their house, different animals, different cleaning styles. Some people are tidy, some people are messy. I would love to come personally do a walkthrough and find out exactly what we can do to best suit your needs. But you're going to use the same worksheet when you get to the customer's house. And you're just going to adapt it a little bit. Don't rewrite it. Don't add extra stuff. Don't make it overkill. And do print it out. Because like I said, this will go places you will never go. And it solves so many problems to have it right there in front of them right now. Oh yes, I remember I just paid for my cleaning service. And if they did not pay for the cleaning service and you do not have a credit card on file, this becomes your invoice. Oh my goodness, I missed the check today. You must have put it somewhere and somehow it's gone missing. So before the day is over, I need the money and I need it emailed to my PayPal account at this email address. Thank you so much. I appreciate your business. And then no further service happens until you get paid. So if they don't pay you, you don't come back in 2 weeks from now because you didn't get paid. And it's right there on their page. So they know, right? They know they didn't pay. That way you don't have to keep chasing them down. You don't have to keep billing them for extra money. All right, so I love the fact that you're in business. I love the fact that you're using the worksheets. If you're not using worksheets, you can use mine, okay? This is a great one. We've been using it for 30 years. I love it. I'm a big fan of it. Go to SavvyCleaner.com/worksheets. And you drop in your email address and it will email it to you. And you can open it up in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. You can edit it and tweak it and make it your own. But please do not add overkill stuff to it. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. All right, I hope this helps you a little bit. If it does, please pass this on to a friend. And if we've earned your subscription, please subscribe to our channel. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.